morning, and welcome to the first ever August graduation, a celebration of the collective achievements of the Westwood High School Class of 2020. Before we begin today's ceremony, I invite the graduates only now to stand during our prelude for the playing of Sir Edward Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance for a moment of recognition and appreciation. Thank you. Now, families, please join your graduate in standing and in reciting with me the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. And now our national anthem.
Oh. 1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Thank you to the members of the senior class for that performance and for your hard work in preparation for today's ceremony. I'd like to remind you to turn off your microphones at this time if you have not done so already. Before we begin today's ceremony, I would like to introduce some people who would have joined me on stage for a more traditional commencement ceremony. Miss Emily Park, Superintendent of Schools, Miss Allison Borchers, Assistant Superintendent, Miss Abigail Hanscom, Director of Student Services, Miss Lemma Jean-Baptiste, Director of Business and Finance, Mr. Steve Ouellette, Director of Technology, Innovation, and Learning, and a dad of a graduate, and Miss Haberman, Assistant Principal. Let's give them a round of applause. I also want to share my deep appreciation to a few key individuals who worked tirelessly as members of a behind-the-scenes team, which was instrumental in planning and executing today's ceremony. They are Dean of Students Amy Davenport, Assistant Principal Nicole Haberman, Director of Operations Ken Aries, Administrative Assistant Jacqueline Kinsman, Assistant Director of Operations Greg Baldwin, and Westwood Media Center Executive Director Melinda Garfield. Without their hard work, we would not be able to enjoy this wonderful event. Let's have a round of applause for them too, please. Additionally, they were supported by a small army which has worked long hours to make today a success. Please join me in sharing our collective appreciation for their efforts, which have resulted in today's ceremony, which is a unique moment in the history of our fine school. The efforts of our Westwood Media Center also include Connor Lynch and Erica Adams. I don't want to miss their efforts. They were helpful. And their efforts to broadcast this graduation ceremony allows us to include guests who could not be present at today's ceremony due to a variety of circumstances, including a few members of the class of 2020. To our graduates who could not be here today, you may not be here with us in person, but you are certainly here with us in spirit, and we wish you the best as you embark on the next chapter of your journey. I would also like to recognize the various departments of the town of Westwood for their hard work and collaboration to ensure that our school celebration is truly a community celebration. In particular, I want to thank the members of the Westwood Community in Action who created and installed the small banners for each graduate that you have seen on our fence outside of this field. They're a wonderful and devoted team, and I have been so fortunate to partner with them in celebrating this year's graduating class. Finally, please join me in sharing my deep appreciation for our facilities staff, including Ken Aries, who have done such a wonderful job of setting up today's chairs and all the other items here today. I would like now to invite Drew Bass he's already on the way, president of the class of 2020, to the stage to give his address.
Good morning. Well, this certainly wasn't the senior skip day we had hoped for. I remember there was a debate about the validity of the poll for when our senior skip day should be. Now I wish we didn't have one at all. Good morning, class of 2020 and families. We finally made it. I was having trouble figuring out what to say after all that the class of 2020 has been through, and I don't want this to be the same speech that every class president nationwide is giving. The Westwood High School Class of 2020 is unique, and I think we were all having a pretty spectacular year leading up to what was supposed to be the finale, where we celebrate our accomplishments with our concluding sports seasons, the spring musical, encounters with the arts, prom, senior week, graduation, and the all-night grad party. I sat down and got to thinking about this word, graduation. What's a graduation if I didn't even finish off high school normally? What does it really mean to me? Graduation is the celebration of childhood, K through 12. Westwood is our home. Westwood is the fuel. Westwood defines all of us to some degree. This is the place where we learn the skill set to pursue our dreams. One of my earliest memories in Westwood Public Schools is in Miss Green's kindergarten class at Deerfield. We had a bunch of baby chicks delivered, and we all got into a circle and discussed and came to peaceful agreements as to what each one should be named. There was one with a stripe on its back, we called Speedy. There was one with a bald spot, called Rosemary. We were taught to be patient, kind, and caring for these living creatures that were now a part of our classroom, and to treat them with respect. Classes like Miss Green's gave us the tools to succeed, including the power of positivity and the ability to adapt in uncertain times, just like this. Graduation, also, is an opportunity to reflect. Some of the most weird and most awkward moments, but also some of the brightest and best. I posted a poll a little while back on the Westwood Instagram page, gathering your feedback. Now I'd like to share some of our favorite memories. When Favor fell and spilled a whole container of pencils in the library. The 8th grade DC trip, Grisha's dance and Jake Paff getting in the storage compartment on the bus. Mr. Grady knocking on everyone's doors and making quirky remarks, and the rap battle. The banquet dance in the ballroom on the DC trip. When Vasilios took over the dance floor at the prom, doing the bench press and the crowd going wild. Gabe Kogan doing a split. Handball and tri-ball tournaments. And of course, the first day of senior year in the parking lot, and then in the auditorium, everyone getting hyped for what we thought was going to be the most amazing year. I think it's important during times like these to reflect on the good times, opposed to mourning about what we have lost. I'd like to share a personal anecdote with you now. In 7th grade, I was actually a decent lacrosse player and got injured pretty badly. I tore my subscapularis in my shoulder and was told that I needed surgery and that the recovery would take 6 months and counting, based on physical therapy. This was, of course, tough news, but my parents kept telling me that years from now this would just be a blip on the radar and a small obstacle in a lifetime full of happiness and success. What may seem like it could be the end of the world in the moment is really just a stepping stone towards new opportunities. I recently saw this great quote. Behind you is all of your memories. Before you is all of your dreams. Around you are all who love you. And within you is all you need. I think back on our K-12 experiences, and I smile. It's been an incredible chapter of life, and it went by with the blink of an eye. I don't know where or who I'd be without you, class of 2020. Sincerely. I wrote most of this speech for when I thought graduation was supposed to be, in early June, so I wanted to add this. Never did I think that when our graduation got postponed to August, we would still be wearing masks. But here we are making masks look pretty damn good. I think that it's important to reflect on this quarantine with a glass half full mentality. It was a time that we were and still very much are all impacted by, and in various different ways. Despite the fact that we should move forward with strife, I don't want us to forget how unfortunate the circumstance was and is. But I do want us to recognize that it was a time to spend quality time with family, find new hobbies, from hiking to an instrument to golf, connect with nature, work on your game, work on yourself as a person. It can be viewed as a sample of how to productively occupy free time, because next year in college, we are about to have a newfound freedom, and it's important to find ways to use that time, aside from your studies, to better yourself and the people around you. It's so nice to see the smiling faces of the members of the class of 2020 and the diverse colleges and universities we will all be attending. There is no denying that any of us could have gotten to where we are today without the help of our amazing Westwood teachers and our individual loving families and parents. So please give a round of applause for the teachers, administrators, coaches, and parents who brought us into this world and encouraged us to succeed. And finally, graduation is a time of realization. With this pandemic, I really have realized how much we all love and care about each other as a class. Everyone is so eager to do whatever they can to get help and to get us together. Such amazing things like the Student Council Instagram, anonymous flocking in neighborhoods to honor seniors, parents organizing the Adopt a Senior idea, the faculty drive-by, the Mr. Mao photo shoots. It really is amazing. I think that's a defining characteristic of Westwood and the class of 2020. We really are a family. We keep each other going. We learn best in times of adversity, and our sense of community is unbelievable. 2020, we were born during 9/11, when the world changed forever, and we really don't know a world before then. Our senior year, the fall was altered by EEE. Our spring was canceled by COVID-19. We were born into an uncertain world and are graduating high school and ending childhood in an uncertain world. All of the positive memories that I just listed, those are the times that define us. Not 9/11, not EEE, and not COVID. Now more than ever is an avenue to develop skills and discover ways to build the world. The future is clear. 2020 clear. And we are rooted in resilience. Thank you. Before I invite our principal, Mr. Bevan, to address the class, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Bevan for supporting our class and our school for the past 4 years. It means so much to our class and our families to see you here at our graduation ceremony today. Please accept this small token of our school community's appreciation of your leadership and support as principal of Westwood High School. The tie we are presenting you today in this package is designed with your new school, Algonquin Regional High School's colors, but has been fashioned with a silk insert on the back, featuring an illustration of you at Westwood High School, drawn by graduate Katie Hanley. We hope this gift reminds you, as you shape new lives in your new role, that you always carry a part of us with you. Thank you, Mr. Bevan. Of course. Ties.
Suddenly got dusty over here in this side where I was sitting. That means a great deal to me, Drew, and this community has meant so much to me for a very long time, and I'm sad to leave it. I'm glad to do this last event with you all, and I'll have to wear this tie, and when I do, I'll remember it and this community very fondly. I don't know what more to say about that, except that I know you're in good hands. My friend and colleague, Ms. Davenport, will do a wonderful job, and I will look back on these days and this 10 years, 11 years very fondly as some of the best of my life. Now I got to give like a speech I wasn't prepared for, that I was prepared for. Oh boy. Well, good afternoon and welcome everyone. Graduates, loved ones, and staff. It's wonderful to finally have this moment together. Our long and windy road has finally brought us here together for a better late than never moment that is unlike any other that we've had before and unlike any one we'll have in the future. Graduates, as the events of the spring unfolded, many of you shared with me a sense of loss that you felt at the things your senior year that you would miss the most. Some of these meaningful moments were the most organic and the least organized that our seniors experience in any given year. Most of them also involved very little input or oversight from adults. These include the senior countdown and senior assassin. Of these senior moments, the one I heard the most about from you all was that you regretted not having one last true dismissal from the lobby. That crowded, loud, disorganized mass of senior students seeking out one another to hug, to cry, and sometimes to sing. And then being dismissed together one last time out the front doors of the school. It saddens me that you were never afforded that moment when you crossed that threshold together, leaving your locker, your classes, and your teachers behind. Because taking note of these moments, of moments like those, of crossing a literal and symbolic boundary is important. As an English teacher, my favorite unit to teach was The Hero's Journey, a literary template with ancient roots and many, many contemporary iterations. As you probably know, The Hero's Journey is a literary prototype wherein a reluctant protagonist is forced to leave a world of comfort and stability, an ordinary world, to complete an adventure in a far-off place. Some examples include Perseus leaving his cozy island, a young King Arthur leaving his adoptive home, even Merlin from Finding Nemo, who ventures away from the coral reef that is his home. At some point soon, hopefully sooner than later, you may leave your place of comfort and safety and strike out on your own. You're probably nervous, you're most definitely excited, and some of you, like Perseus, Arthur, and Merlin, are reluctant. I wish you luck on your journey as you possibly face a crisis or two and hopefully reap the rewards you seek. You will, like heroes of ancient texts and Hollywood blockbusters, return home, but you will have changed and returned with newfound wisdom and strength. And I'm confident that you will apply this wisdom and strength to make a difference in your community and to make an impact on others' future. Scholars have identified several other components of the classic hero's journey. I've just given you a brief overview of the key steps that are most easily recognizable. Except I left one out. Most hero myths require that the protagonist cross the threshold to declare through his or her actions that they will take on the challenge before them. It is their first act of bravery. For example, Wonder Woman leaves her kingdom and T'Challa leaves his. Simba returns to Pride Rock, and Eleven goes back to Hawkins' lab. That moment can be a scary one, but it's as much a part of the journey as the more obvious parts. And it's what the ritual of graduation is all about, crossing a threshold. As the spring brought forth its many challenges and disappointments, you shared with me a nearly singular voice. There were about 1,000 signatures on a Change.org petition, if you recall, that you were eager for this moment, to hear your name announced and to cross the stage in front of your classmates and loved ones. What you were asking was simply to do what all the heroes you ever read about or saw in a movie had done, to ceremonially put behind them the comfort and safety of their younger selves and to go out into the world. In just a few moments, you will cross that threshold, literally and figuratively. Soon after that, you will leave this field and our campus, your home for the past 4 years, a place of stability and comfort, and you will begin a grand adventure, and I wish you luck as you do. After making their choice, each of the heroes you studied in school or watched on the big screen found success by doing the following 2 things. They stepped outside of their comfort zone, and they accepted help when they needed it. Without doing those things, Arthur never is king, and Marlin doesn't find Nemo. I encourage you to do them too. Do things that make you nervous or scared, and reach out to those around you when you need their help. You'll be glad you did. Graduates, I hope you will think back fondly on your years at Westwood. I wish you the best of luck next year and wherever you go and whatever you do. Congratulations. And now it is my pleasure to introduce several members of our student a cappella group, Passing Notes, and other members of the WHS chorus as they perform an original arrangement by Mr. Rob Goldman of Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Singers, please stand at this time.
If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. after time.
You said go slow or fall behind.
The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time.
Great job to Olivia, Caroline, Fiona, Adeline, Haley, Aisha, Sydney, Dylan, and Dennis. Thank you for giving us one final opportunity to hear you sing together as Westwood High School students. I also want to take a moment to thank Rob Goldman for his unending support of his students in all of his musical endeavors. Where is Mr. Goldman over there? I would like now to invite David Hahn to the stage to deliver the honor address for the class of 2020. David.
Hello, Westwood High School Class of 2020, parents, teachers, faculty, neighbors, friends, and family. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to reflect on our years together, but more importantly, for giving me the occasion to celebrate the Class of 2020. I guess 2020 vision doesn't really apply anymore. To be honest, it might have been a little cliche. In April, it felt more like 520 vision. But in all seriousness, no one could have ever thought that this would be the way the year would end. It would be a gross understatement to say that this year was filled with ups and downs. The unprecedented circumstances that we are all facing have truly been difficult. We've lost numerous culminating experiences, celebrations, and memories that are normally cornerstones of a senior year. But perhaps we can look at what is going on in the world around us as a final challenge before we move on with our lives. We can view this pandemic as the final hurdle before we cross the finish line of our high school careers. COVID-19 has been and will continue to be a test of our resilience, our generosity, and our ability to adapt, not only for the class of 2020, but for our community as a whole. We can view the growing social, economic, and political change that is sweeping the nation right now as a test of our ability to come together, to stand up for what is right, and to fight against what is wrong. For the past 4 years, our class has been a champion of kindness and solidarity. From when we started in 2016 at our first freshman assembly, faces tense with nervousness but eager with anticipation, to this May, our occasionally smiling faces displayed on a Google Meet grid, we have always been together. Our tremendous sense of unity was evident through the enthusiasm at our many band, chorus, and orchestra concerts, our raucous electric factory, and the senior-packed fan buses. We've displayed true pride and support of each other, seen through the great showings at our musicals and plays, the triumphant gymnasium uproar as a certain member of our class won the pie eating contest 2 years in a row. Talk about a true dynasty. We have been leaders throughout our time in Westwood, starting chants at sports games, organizing charity concerts and fundraisers, running Westwood Day booths, hosting foreign exchange students, and taking part in countless other acts of altruism and positivity. We are an embodiment of what it means to have school and town spirit. There's a Confucian saying that goes, amongst 3 people walking, at least one will be a teacher of mine. With our class, I've found that walking down the corridors alongside just one other person is sufficient to learning something new. The class of 2020 is composed of some of the most thoughtful, charismatic, outspoken, athletic, hilarious, dynamic, respectful, entrepreneurial, and generous individuals that I have ever and will ever meet. I'm sure that everyone in our class is gifted at something, whether it's launching a golf ball 300 yards or writing code for an elaborate computer program, things that to me feel impossible. I think that that's a remarkable, beautiful aspect of our class. The fact that we are all talented in our own ways. More than that is the fact that we are open to learning from a diversity of opinions and perspectives, treating everyone as friends, but more importantly, as equals. Our capacity for meaningful, positive change has only been further demonstrated these last few months. As a class and as a town, we've embraced flexibility and perseverance. The lunch table conversations and desk circle discussions have turned into virtual connections with the people we care about. We've continued to learn and grow, upholding the high standards of dedication and scholarship that make up a Westwood education. We've adapted the routine of social distancing, and our participation in a last-day drive-out was a testament to our ability to blaze new trails and stay close with one another. Our brilliant drive-in class day and the first ever senior sneak have shown that despite the presence of several roadblocks, we can and we will come up with ways around them. It is only fitting, however difficult it was, that we, the class of 2020, were the first to experience such untraditional celebrations. We didn't have an ordinary senior year, but the way we responded, the word that comes to mind is extraordinary. In short, we haven't been defined by such challenges. Instead, we've defined them. But it wouldn't be nearly enough to only praise the exceptional class of 2020. To put it bluntly, we wouldn't be anywhere close to where we are today without the incredible support system of our town. To the teachers, the administrators, the guidance counselors, and the staff of all the schools we've attended over the years, we are forever indebted to you and your guidance. I cannot stress it enough, the class of 2020, and every class before and after it, is immensely to have the resources and support that we have benefited from during our time in Westwood. Your wisdom and advice, ranging from flute lessons to differential equations lectures to the final parting words on the final day of classes, will launch us on a path toward success, but more importantly, toward happiness. To all the parents, neighbors, and members of the town, we are just as grateful for your sacrifices and support. The words thank you cannot capture the enormous amount of gratitude that I'm sure every member of our class has for you. Normally, perhaps, a handshake or a hug would be better, but these are not normal times. Thank you for working with us and for making these last few months so memorable. Thank you for making us feel so special, whether it was through creating yard signs and posters, attending our parades, or taking part in adopting us. I never thought I'd ever say that last one, but again, these aren't normal times. I'd like to share 2 lessons that I've learned this year. The first is about the importance of a simple human idea, empathy. At its core, empathy is the capability of someone to feel and recognize the emotions and situations of others. But beyond that, empathy is about truly respecting and embracing others. It's about understanding that someone else might have a different perspective or situation than us. For our class, empathy has been shown when we helped each other out with adversity, be it in schoolwork or social life. Empathy has been demonstrated when we introduced ourselves to the new student, or when we cheered each other up after a tough test or a rough morning. But beyond that, empathy is needed to reconcile differences, to create sustainable solutions. Before judging another person, whether it's because of their looks or their beliefs or their behavior, think about what they themselves might be going through. Before pointing fingers and directing blame, think about what they themselves, think about the reasons behind their actions and what they themselves are going through. Before targeting others, before resorting to prejudice and preconceptions, think about what it would be like to be in their shoes. A greater amount of empathy is what the world needs the most right now, and our class is certainly capable of demonstrating it and spreading it. The second lesson I've learned is more sobering and repeated often at graduations, but I think it's especially important this year. Never take your time for granted. People often say to never take anything for granted, but in reality, what is most important is the time that we have. Reflecting on the time we've lost to the pandemic and other things has shown just how limited it is. With this lost time, I believe, comes regret. I remember thinking to myself right when our school year ended of how I never really had the opportunity to say goodbye or to properly thank all the teachers, friends, staff, and others who've helped me throughout the years. I remember being sorry for myself and for everyone else who I might never get the chance to see again. And that's why I believe that right now, while we are all together as one, is such a special occasion. This moment is not only a milestone in history, but is time well spent, time that has meaning. I hope that we can continue to live like this and not ever again have to regret the time that we have lost. I hope that we can take the time to look at the people around us, to say thank you to the people who've raised us up, to say I love you to the people who are closest to us, without ever worrying about running out of time to do so. In the end, graduation is meant to celebrate the rising class and to wish them the best on their path towards the future. But more importantly, and especially this year, I believe that graduation is a time for a community to come together, not just to wave goodbye. It's a time to share the lessons that we've learned and mark not the end, but rather the beginning of a new journey. To the class of 2020, I encourage you to embrace the qualities that have made our class so outstanding. Keep giving back and supporting our communities. Continue to learn from each other and respect everyone for who they are, as equals. Stand up to injustice and take an active role in ensuring that each and every individual, with no exceptions, has the right to their own voice, their own opportunities, their own freedom, and their own life. Have empathy and understanding for everyone you meet. And while doing all this, make the most of the time that you have. If there's one thing that I'm certain about in a year filled to the brim with uncertainties, it's that if we continue to be ourselves, the class of 2020, we will see the world as a whole progress in the right direction. Right now is a time of turbulence that calls for such unity. But I know that there will be clear skies and a smooth landing soon, thanks to the class of 2020 and those who've been with us since takeoff. Congratulations, Westwood High School Class of 2020. Thank you, Westwood.
David, for that tribute to our graduates. Great job. And now it is my pleasure to invite Miss Emily Parks, Superintendent of Schools, to certify the Westwood High School graduating class.
Thank you, Mr. Bevan. To Mrs. Lewis, Chair of the Westwood School Committee, Mr. Bevan, families, and graduates. As Superintendent of the Westwood Public Schools, it is my duty and honor to certify that the members of the class of 2020 have fulfilled the requirements for graduation as designated by the Westwood School Committee and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Congratulations, graduates.
And now the moment you've been waiting for. Will the class please prepare for the presentation of diploma cases? Our first diploma is awarded to Drew Ethan Bass, President of the class of 2020. Drew will now follow me to read the names of his classmates.
Nahal Venkat Nagala. Kaylee Sattler. Vivian Ty Tran. Olivia Flora Ann DeAngio. Caroline Helen Cole. Fiona Jacqueline Garrity. Adeline May Traphagen Vimenta. Haley Marie Ursula. Aisha Sarah Tarek. Sydney Florence Judd. Dylan Adam Ventola. Dennis Michael Galvin. Fiona Ann Galvin. Maeve Eileen Patton. Anne-Marie Carey Mon. Angelina Marie Demontopoulos. Jillian Loren Jenkins. David Dayu Han. Christopher James Abatangelo. Wasim Maurice Abdelahad. Richard Paul Adams III. Antara Asim Adhav. Taylor Marie Alessi. Christina Cynthia Almeida. Camden Lee Arnold. Anastasios Aslanides. Krista Renata Ostras. James John Bean. Caroline Jingmarie Beatty. Jamal Aldine Balika. Devin Thomas Bellevue. Peyton Helen Bembo. Abigail Eileen Berry. Garrett Owen Berry. Faith Michelle Berry. Adam Matthew Bertrand. Olvia Ann Blaukus. Jeremy Joseph Bornstein. John Anthony Bracco, Jr. Lily Jane Bruno. Emily Margaret Bukhari. Elizabeth Lynn Bunker. Emily Jane Burbo. Matthew John Capone. John Edward Cappuccino. Doc. McKinley Michael Carr. Sabrina Jacqueline Casarino. Matthew Brian Cawley. James Andrew Clancy. Gabriel James Cogan. Joseph Anthony Colantoni. Mackenzie Ann Connaughton. Olivia Jane Connolly. Emma Grace Conway. Alexandra Haley Cook. Kevin Anthony Cote. Emma Rose Curley. Rowan Michael Curtin. Gina Nicole Dacey. Alexis June David. Matthew Robert DeAngelis. Daniel Mark Delory. Natalie Grace DeMeo. Anthony Tyler DeOliveira. Linnea Anna DiVincenzo. Emma Dizdari. Hannah Maeve Donahue. Abigail Grace Dorsky. Abigail Johnson Drager. Abigail Antoinette Driscoll. Kelly Lee Driscoll. Andy Dew. Liam Michael DeLay. Robert Joseph Dumais. Faye Marie Durant. Donisha Alicia Dwyer Young. Cynthia Maria Elshwary. Jared Joseph Aramo. Ashley Veronica Fafara. Emma Kathleen Falkowski. Lillian Marie Farah. Colin John Fay. Lauren Michelle Flaherty. Megan Catherine Foley. Joseph Victor James Fabiano McCarthy. Sean Patrick Gallagher. Jared Hugh Gannon. Patrick Russell Garrett. Nicole Nikolaiva Gaikova. Leah Ellie Ghazali. Joseph David Goff. Benjamin James Goodrich. Tiernan James Goss. James Enrico Grassi. Caitlin Joanne Grealish. Sydney Paige Griffin. Ava Barbara Gundel. Nahom Berhan Ali. Shamar Nicholas Hall. Isabella Rose Hamden. Catherine Elise Hanley. Charles Edward Harrington. Charlotte Penfield Hart. Joseph Patrick Healy. Ronan John Hebbard. Olivia Ray Holbrook. Morgan Olivia Hughes. Lillian Kate Hunter. Allison Mackenzie Arabino. Vasilios Christopher Yokomides. Taylor Renee Jackman. Mark Anthony James. Taylor Sarah Kane. Maeve Therese Kearns. Joseph Michael Keating. Aiden Patrick Kelly. Sophia Kaufman. Alyssa Rose Cruson. Grisha Kukanov. Tess Elizabeth Custwan. Ashley Nicole Kutzer. Alexandra Lappin. Audrey Rose Lassen. Nicole Shirley Lauder. Aries Gomez Lateo de Grasa. Zion Lang. Tiffany Angel Lynn. Benjamin E. Linehan. Ethan Joseph Lose. Jack Kenneth Lucas. Anthony Joseph Maloof. Stephen David Majacomo. Dylan Patrick Mahoney. Nikita Samuel Manakin. Amy Lorette Marsubian. Celia Eve Mastermate. Jai Allen Mathis. Ashling Mary Pia McDermott. Kevin Daniel McDonald. Sophia Catherine McKay. Catherine Margaret McNulty. Alexa Maria Merheb. Catherine Marie Maloney. Jack Theodore Morgan. Madeline Elena Morgan. Haley Dolan Morrison. Richard John Morrison. Sarah Ann Morrison. Patrick James Moylan. Jordan Olivia Mula. Jake Albiser Mullaney. Sabrina Dorothy Mulligan. Rhea Nassif. Samantha Lauren Nelson. Michael Lawrence Nelson. Jonathan Garsing Ing. Jacob Volok Win. Samuel Joseph Nyan. Margaret Reed Noble. Olivia Jean Nolte. Shane Patrick O'Grady. Quinn McSweeney O'Hara. Roisin Claire O'Keefe. Tegan Alexandra O'Leary. Leah Nancy Oscar Phoenix. Bianca Joanne Ouellette. Daniel Stephen Ouellette. Trisha Patel. Dylan Wyatt Perkins. Jacob Connor Paff. Ryan Charles Polanski. Grace Bridget Polve. Diani Mercedes Preval. Caitlin Leah Prifty. Patrick John Riley. George James Resker. Sarah Elizabeth Roycroft. Charlotte Reuben Scanlon. Lindsay Carmen Chazelle. Emma Jean Serecchia. Arlo Nicholas Sevi. Matthias Jack Shako. Alyssa Veronica Shelburne. Bridget Marie Slocum. Alec James Solomon. Olivia Ann Spink. Jason Clark Stebbins. Michael Paul Tiedites. Jack Haig Turgeon. Joseph Donovan Thornton. Charlene Ray Tierney. Adam Harris Traster. Ryan Brett Cho. Alexander Constantino Solius. Diego Javier Velazquez Carter. Katerina Andreyevna Vertikova. Favor Wariboko. Ashlyn Elizabeth Warren. Matthew Leonard Warshay. Elizabeth Ann Watson. Shiloh Alexis Weatherby. Daniel Michael Webb. Teresa Rhiannon Webb Johnson. Jessica Junan Wen. Jennifer Uren Worth. Anthony Palumbo Wickett. Madeline Jane Witherill. Jessica Trinity Wong. Margaret Riley Wynn. Lily Yua Shu. Samuel McCormick Zonderman.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the Westwood High School Class of 2020. I'm going to ask you to please remain seated until you're dismissed by a staff member. We will be dismissing guests by row, starting from the front of the stage. Thank you. This concludes today's events.